believe God hears. I believe God answers prayers. I believe God sees. I believe He'll speak for me. Oh, I believe He will fight for us. Oh, I believe He won't forsake us. Oh, no, 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 no. Hey, I believe God. He answers fire. He answers fire. He'll answer fire. Whatever you need, I believe God. He answers fire. God answers fire. He'll answer fire. Whatever.
Greetings, good afternoon, and welcome. Welcome to Let's Talk. I'm Gail Smith, and I wanted to spend a little bit of time with you today. So I have a topic. Usually when we do Let's Talk, there's an audience and people throw out information, ideas about what they want us to talk about. But today is a little bit different. So this topic came about as in my own personal prayer time, I sought encouragement and refreshment for my soul. And the word hope was a good part of what was going on. And experience has taught me that the best way for me to keep a blessing from God is to give it away. So that's why we're here for Let's Talk today. It's very tempting to look back and go over all the things that we lost and to look at the mess that we're in. Because I have been very sick of the past month or so. And other people as well we have shared prayers and blessings among ourselves to get us through these difficult times. And so I wondered to myself, the question was, how in the world does hope look in the midst of continually swirling circumstances? How do you know that your hope is intact? And how are you going to use it when nothing around you looks like what you think it should look like or what you want it to look like, or it doesn't look like the promises of God even? So I thought about hope. I mean, a lot of people just use hope in a flippant kind of way, just meaning it's something that you wish for. Its strength in that perspective is in the strength of the person who desires it. But the hope that we're talking about, that I'm talking to you about, is in the Bible, and the Bible describes that hope as the confident expectation of what God has promised, and its strength is in His faithfulness. So His faithfulness is apparent always. It doesn't change because our circumstances have changed. It doesn't change because we have done something or we have not done something. So this is a good thing. I wanted to look at a couple of scriptures that more describe this position of hope. And one scripture really stuck out to me really well, and that was Hebrews 6:18 through 20. And I want to read it in two translations because it really gives a good explanation about what's going on in the verse. We who have taken refuge would have strong encouragement to take hold of the hope set before us. His hope we have is an anchor of the soul, a hope both sure and steadfast, and one which enters within the veil, where Jesus has entered as a forerunner for us. So, what this is saying here is that the strong hold that we have here is like an anchor for our soul, not because of what we thought, but because of the fact that Jesus has entered the veil and became the forerunner for us. So before we even knew we were going to need hope, he was already hope. That was from the New American Standard Bible. Now, the Message Bible says, we who have run for our very lives to God have every reason to grab the promised hope with both hands and never let go. I love that. It's an unbreakable spiritual lifeline, reaching past all appearances right to the very presence of God, where Jesus, running on ahead of us, has taken up his permanent post as high priest for us. So, this hope that's based on the God kind of hope, um, I guess we can kind of lose it, give it away, not notice it. But when we do hold on to it, it is everlasting. So I thought about this to ask, where does hope hang out at in our lives? Remember, we have points in our lives when everything is good and we rejoice, we are happy and glad in God, and we celebrate him. And then there are times in our lives when it gets hard to pray because we feel so heavily laden with things that are upon us. So, what does hope see in me, and what does hope see in you? Because I have determined that hope does have eyes. Um, so, when you look at the idea of where hope has its position, I looked at 1 Corinthians 13:13 in the Amplified, and it says, and now there remain faith, hope, love, these three, but the greatest of these is love. So now I want to go back and say, so what do they mean by faith? Faith, abiding trust in God and his promises. And this is why I had the song on at the beginning of the opening, I Believe God by Jacqueline Carr. And she's not looking at anything that's happening or not happening. She's looking at the fact of who God is. And that's how we develop our faith. It's an abiding trust in God and his promises. And then hope. And this is the place where we sit today. Confident expectation of eternal salvation. So, this is our hope. Our faith tells us that we have this hope because of Jesus Christ. And love, unselfish love for others, growing out of God's love for us. So, between these three, the choices, graces, because this is all about grace, faith, hope, love, it's all about God's amazing grace. The greatest of these is love, but God is in every single piece of it. So when I said, let me see where hope hangs out, we now know that hope hangs out with looking ahead. There's faith, and when hope looks behind, there's love. So they keep powerful company. Faith and hope are powerful company, and the two are intimately connected. And the best expression of the relationship between faith and hope is that one can one cannot have hope without faith. When people have hope, they have faith because they hold on to a belief that says, I believe the future will be better. And while they have no grounds to prove it, they have the assumption, the hope, the hopeful assumption that they have faith in it anyhow. And so while faith can exist without hope, it's possible, even though I wouldn't know why you would want to do that. Hope cannot exist without faith. Hope is a firm and secure anchor for the soul. And you and I really don't want to be without it. So that's the reason for the talk today, so that we can kind of brush up on our hope meter and make sure that we're moving in a realm that supports our hope. We don't want to be doing things that are going to take away from the hope that we have, from the faith that we have developed. From our faith, hope gives the motivation and courage needed to succeed. It's the fuel to keep us moving forward when things get tough. You don't have to hope for something if you already got it. That's kind of silly. You don't need to hope for it. So it brings enthusiasm for the future as it pulls on the love of God. And sometimes it even supplies enough reason to live. People who have decided that they no longer want to have life, they have lost hope. And we really can't exist without hope. So hope is a powerful thing. And more often than not, a lack of hope and a lack of energy go hand in hand. So that's a key to look at in ourselves. When we really feel very low and low key and we just can't seem to get it together, it's very possible that we're a little bit depleted on hope. So it is very difficult to walk through grim times and to cope with life's challenges without hope. But the person that is filled of hope is motivated to welcome life and all the challenges it brings, because hope takes off that curve of the things that are happening. When nothing else is working, we can depend on our hope, because hope dares to give when no one else is sharing. So keep that thought. Hope can keep you moving when nothing else is available to help. So to back up this, we had a little talk about what hope is, and I hope that I hope that your hope is shouting right now, and that you're ready to do something about it. So we're going to have a short coaching video, and I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk through a few things to do, um, revolving setting up a hope plan. Okay. Now we do know that sometimes electronics kind of do what they want to do. Oh, wonderful. We're good. We're good. Okay, this is the coaching exercise, the eyes of hope. We can create mindsets for the concept of radical healing when we create spaces of opportunities for growth. Because that's the problem. When something is wrong, it's like our system tries to shut down, and we kind of push things out of the way. Sometimes it's people, sometimes it's our own ideas. Sometimes it's even God because we don't understand. Well, where are you, God? Why aren't you answering my prayer? And God is saying, well, when are you gonna show some faith and some trust in what you prayed? What actions are you taking? So here's an exercise to consider. Let's consider three components associated with hope. Material hope, which is the sense of control when given the resources to deal with forces that affect everyday lives. Cooperative debated hope, and that's a little strange saying, but it does provide opportunities of questioning the unjust to stimulate critical thinking and to draw out ideas and underlying assumptions. Underlying assumptions are the things that basically can hold us back because we don't realize that these things are working. And audacious hope, through its boldness, it never gives up. The never give upness of it provides opportunities to heal from oppression and the capacity for transformation. Now, these are the questions for us to consider. Building your hope plan by considering answering these questions and looking at these statements. The first one is choose hope. Do not allow your thoughts to be distracted by the environment or people or your heavy to-do list. On purpose, think on goal-orientated thoughts, things that suggest the hope you have within. What does it look like for you? How can you choose a new posture of hope thoughts or strengthen the hope you already have? In what ways can a restorative hope create conditions and opportunities for you and those around you to prosper and thrive? So it begins with the consciousness of actually choosing hope. The next part is find small victories. Stay present. Look at what you already have and how very much you have accomplished. Nothing gets done without intention and work. Develop hope strategies to achieve real goals. This means putting a process, a method, a new idea behind the, the hope you have. It will not move on its own. How can you redirect your thoughts and subtle movements towards greater hope? The answer to that question will help to guard your heart against um, not believing your hope. And the last one is change your thinking, which is the hardest place to be. Because when you change your thinking, you change everything. It's the possibility of changing everything where you live inside. Bring bold, hopeful ideas to the forefront of your mind. Think about what you are thinking about. No idling allowed. Don't allow your mind to just wander on all kinds of things and let people come in and out of your mind that have no business being there. Give hope the feet and hands it needs to create change. This also affects your relational hope, creating interactive conditions with people, places, and things based on trust and relationship. Be motivated to expend effort to achieve desired goals. So when you're thinking about what you're thinking, then you're able to place yourself in the position of, all right, what, does this support where I really want to go? Does this support what I have read in scripture? Does this support um, the trend of helping me, of investing in me? Excuse me. So when we think about what we're thinking and we challenge what we're thinking, then we start creating new areas of possibilities. So The last thing that I wanted to say about hope is from um, the Hebrews 11:1, the NLT version. But faith is the confidence that what we hope for will actually happen. It gives us assurance about things we cannot see. So let's put hope there. Hope is the eyes of faith, in that it not only sees the promise, but is also the hands of faith that clings to the expectation of the promise and never releases it, no matter what is seen. That is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, because it gives us a place to land. It gives us a reason to um, to rejoice each day and to come into a day and to take one step at a time in working with that day. If if we just believe the promises of God and we spend some time dwelling and reflecting on them, eventually they become a part of who we are. They become a part of our lives. Um, as I said before, nothing is going to change without us paying attention to what we're thinking and consciously choosing to be a part of a transformational movement in our lives. And it doesn't really depend on the place where you are. Pain and sorrow and disappointment and discouragement and grief and all of these things can pull against you and work hard and end up in your body and reflective in your body. But it doesn't mean that it has to stay there or that it makes you who you are. It just doesn't make you who you are. And so that's what we have to do. We have to hold on to the person that Christ has become for us by living in us. The person we become because Jesus Christ lives within us, because we have chosen Him, and because God loves us regardless. That's been a thought that has helped me when I have had the deepest pain. That even before I got here on this earth, God knew me, saw me from the beginning to the end, and then back to the beginning again. But yet He decided to love me, to create me, to let me loose in a safe environment with my grandparents, even before I knew anything. And so His power is a part of who I am, it's a part of my life. And I can tap into it as much or as little as I want. So I want everything. I want everything that Jesus died to give me. I don't want one thing less, and I don't want one thing more. I just want what was allotted for me, and that is more than enough. So I pray today that all those who look at this video and participate in doing the exercise in real time, I pray that you will be sparked with hope in your heart and that you will take the time to develop your faith and move your faith through hope and the love of God. Things can change so rapidly. We don't know what the timing is for where we are or what we got to do or what we're not going to do. So we just have to live in the moment. We have to live each day, be present, and trust God. And that's what I wish for you. So if you would like to have the printout of the exercise and go along with it with the audio, you just have to email me. I am going to make it available on the website and on my not calendar, excuse me, on my newsletter. But if you don't get the newsletter, then you wouldn't get it. So my email address is EFC, which is short for Essentials for Change. So it's efc.healthwellness@gmail.com. If you have any difficulty, you can just call the numbers and it's 914-316-8769. Have a wonderfully blessed, awesome day, and I hope to see you next month on Let's Talk. Goodbye now.